Welcome to the Merch Minds podcast, where we discuss everything about the Merch by Amazon business and the print-on-demand industry. Here are your hosts, Glen and Yong.
What is up, everybody? Merch Minds podcast, episode number 29. My name is Glen. I have a YouTube channel, Hustler Hacks. This is my homeboy, Yong.
What's going on, man? How's it going?
Good. So we're here, episode 29 already.
29. Another week's gone by, and things are looking pretty good.
A lot of topics to cover, numbers to cover, and a whole bunch of exciting things to talk about. Before we start, just let everybody know this episode is sponsored by Merch Candy, and they're offering professional quality t-shirt designs for only $10 a design. Don't worry about niche ideas, none of that stuff. Their designs are already niche researched, ready to go, and you can use any of those designs for any major print-on-demand marketplace. So if you want to give them a shot, go to merchcandy.com/merchminds. You'll get 2 free designs when you sign up. And once again, merchcandy.com/merchminds for your special, unique offer. And I guess, getting into the show, you want to talk about your numbers first, or what are we going to talk about? The purge, getting some designs off for 60 days, because I know that hurt me, but maybe it hurt me more than it hurt you. But I don't know what you want to start off with.
It doesn't matter, man. I can start with my numbers.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
Numbers are slowly improving. They're back to what they were right before St. Patty's Day. So for those of you guys that's been listening for a while, right before St. Patty's Day, I was doing about 100 shirts for my 7-day average. And I was doing about $700 for the 7 days. So I'm back to those numbers. Currently, I have 101 shirts sold, and the day's not even over yet. It's 4:15 Pacific Standard Time. So 101 shirts for the last 7 days, and my estimated royalty, and I'm just going to average it up, is $698.
All right, and what do you think? So we got 3 days left from this for this month of April. You did predict that these numbers would be lower than March.
I did. I wasn't expecting the last week of this month to really improve. So everything that I predicted just goes out the window. So I'm predicting that, as you said, we have what, 3-4 days left. Yeah. I'm probably going to do about the same as I did last month.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Which is good. Yeah. However, because my numbers are, again, they have been improving, and I've said over the last 2-3 episodes now that I firmly believe that next month, May, is going to be a pretty good month. So and I haven't set a goal. It seems like in the last few weeks, so I'm going to set a goal for myself. I'm going to set a goal to do about $2,700 next month. We'll
Big
see.
hammer over here.
We'll see. Obviously that could go up, that can go down. So yeah. I like how things are picking up again. And
did the 60-day purge affect you in any way?
Yeah, I did have a handful of shirts removed. So I'm averaging right around 450 shirts. That's what I currently have now live. I probably had about 15 or 20 removed. I can upload, I mentioned this before, I can upload 15 shirts per day. There's no way I'm doing that, man. I'm doing 5 per day.
Okay. And when do you think you'll fill up? I guess, let's see, 5 per day. I was going to do the math, but that's just going to take too long. see when you're going to fill up your submissions. Plus the ones that get removed, but that's every 3 months now. So
I don't know. I mean, I guess I can re-upload some of them, but some of them are seasonal. So there's no reason for me to upload them until next year. But then there's other ones that's evergreen, so I guess I can upload those. But I'm just trying to put up fresh designs. So I'm always doing research. Always doing research.
Okay, nice. These numbers, yeah, you did predict April was going to be lower, and these numbers have gone down a lot. Yeah, like it's kind of crazy because they were like super strong in the beginning of the month, maybe even to like the first 10 to 12 days of the month. I was in that $1,400 to $1,500 last 7 days range. But it's gone down, and then it kind of went up again. When I was in New York, it went down a lot, and then when I came back, it kind of crept up a little bit, and then now it's just been up and down, but more down, I would say. So, I think today I've only sold like 11 shirts or something. Like it's, and I'm usually doing like I think, especially last month, like 30 shirts today or so.
Wow.
So right now it's like really low. As far as the 60-day purge and any of that stuff, I went down to the least I think amount of live shirts I've been in a long time. Went down to like 1,500 shirts or so. Remember, I think during that time where we couldn't really upload any shirts late last year, I was almost near like 3,000 live shirts.
Wow.
So to go down, it's almost like half of them have gone down. The ones that haven't sold, during time and all that has passed by. So all that has gone down to like the 15 whatever 100 shirts. I've been uploading more. So right now it's kind of weird because yesterday at the end of the day, estimated royalties, I was like 1,200, so it wasn't too bad. Today, I guess since I did a really good last 7 days, it's gone down a lot. Around I think 10. What am I at right now? 1090. So almost, probably at the end of the day, I'll still finish at around 1,100. But as far as the next 3 days go, adding those up, prediction, I'll probably be about like $4,400 for the month, which is actually $1,000 less than what I made last month.
And that's a lot of money. $1,000.
Yeah, that's an extra $1,000 down from last month. So yesterday I was working on designs, and I was like, man, like what am I gonna do as far as what I want to do with the merch? What am I gonna do to grow this? I have been doing ads, which we did. I don't know. We really didn't talk about it last episode, did we? A little bit about ads.
I can't remember. I guess we would have to go back and listen to it, but I can't remember.
So I have done some ads, testing them out, seeing what they mean. Sponsored products and headline ones, and so I've sold 3 shirts based off of ads. Clicks, they bought it, and I could see it on my Amazon vendor thing or whatever. But I don't know. I think I still have these running for like another week because I really don't know, I guess, how I could really test to make sure what's going on. It's kind of weird because even what I can see from right now, it's looking like some of the shirts that have like the least amount of impressions are the ones, at least 2 of those that did sell. Another one has like a lot of impressions and then only 1 sale. So I don't know. And then they have another one that has over 8,000 impressions and hasn't sold yet.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, we're gonna give this another week to see how I can kind of read these and what I want to do. Because
see, I mean, running ads is tricky because you really do have to test the market, right? Like, and there's a lot of factors that goes into it, right? Like, what kind of keywords are you using, and so yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a while before you see some significant results. That's what I'm guessing. I only ran ads on 3 shirts. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I mean, I guess I can log in, but I'm just lazy. But I can tell you this much: none of my shirts have sold.
Based off of.
I mean, but they're just 3 shirts, and again, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I can't give you like a detailed report. But again, it's there's a lot of variations, a lot of factors. So that's something that we definitely have to keep playing with.
Yeah, and even with that, like this is just a testing trial and error phase. Like I'm losing money because I've already spent more money on ads than I've made because I've only sold three shirts. So I haven't paid like a whole lot, but I have spent more than what I've made so far. So I don't know. I'm gonna see how this plays out for another week. I guess it also just depends on like what niche, what shirt, what it is. I don't know. There's a lot of different factors. So I'll keep everybody updated what happens with that. And yeah, and test these ads out. But I was like, you know what? Yong said 5 shirts a day. You can do up to 15. You said there's no way to do 15.
There's no way I can do 15.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? Well, my submission per day is 100. And I know that's an insane amount. But I'm tiered up to 8,000. I need to fill the 8,000. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be December or plugging away until November, December till I get 8,000. But if these numbers are going to grow, I need to get to 8,000. Some people are going to say, well, you know what? Like you can do the best that you have. True. You can have like Yong has, a little bit less than 500 shirts and do amazing. But I'm also thinking, I guess that's what kind of helped me in the beginning is just having volume and having a lot of shirts. Then again, there's so many of them that didn't sell. I mean, it's a weird market thing. There's no guarantee that there's some awesome shirt that's going to sell automatically. I mean, I don't have those magical powers. So I just know that if I'm up to 8,000, that's what I can do. Then I need to damn well make sure I need to get to that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you're definitely playing the numbers game, but have you thought about maybe doing something like what I'm doing, which is doing less shirts and just putting out more quality designs? And I'm not saying you have to, put in like 3 or 4 or 5 hours into just one design, but I know you had mentioned in the past that a lot of your shirts, it would just take you 10 minutes. Have you considered maybe putting in like 30 minutes to an hour per design? Because that's what I've been doing, and obviously my numbers are pretty. I mean, in my opinion, they're pretty good considering the amount of shirts that I have.
Yeah. No, it is good for the amount of shirts that you have. I just don't know if I could sit and do it for that long for the amount of shirts because I know I'm going to have to edit videos and do the other like do the eBay thing that I'm still doing there, editing the videos, doing this. So I know I don't know if I would have the patience and or time to like spend a lot of time on just one shirt design. But I know that I can, and I have been doing more these later ones than just doing purely simple text. Because I did do that that's the only way I was able to do like 40 a day because I was just doing very simple text, getting them out there. And not all of those sold, of course, but it did kind of help to get like that extra boost. Like, because I think last month or the month before that, it was over 5,000. It was like $5,300. So I did get kind of like a mini boost from that. But I don't think it's clearly not going to last forever. Because there's a lot of them that haven't sold. So I don't know. I'm going to approach it a little bit different. I am going to spend a little bit more time, probably not 30 minutes or so, but I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it. But I think I'm just going to just keep on trying to get like volume, as many shirts as possible. And then of course playing with the ads and then kind of back those up with ads for different things that's coming up. So I don't know. Let's see how it plays out.
How about this? I might have a solution for you, okay? You tell the missus, say, look, I took you to New York City. Okay. You edit my videos. She'll probably slap you, huh?
You edit my videos. I don't even know.
You edit my videos so I can focus. You have to train
on Final Cut Pro.
Are you doing Final Cut Pro?
Wow, yeah, that's what I do for the videos. I'd have to train her on doing that to get those videos out there. Maybe you could do like eBay stuff. I mean, I could just, I mean, doing the like taking photos doesn't take me that long, like to do. I guess just doing it for a long time, it doesn't really. Even listing has gotten, honestly, listing on eBay has gotten way easier than it was like a couple, like even uploading pictures, it's quicker now. Like all that stuff has been way quicker. So I don't know. I guess cutting time, maybe it's just a lot of things to do. So I don't know. We'll see we'll see what happens. But I do want to get way more shirts uploaded, and take full advantage of my, I guess, tiered up status.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm satisfied with my 5 per day. I'm not trying to upload anymore at the moment. I mean, unless my time frees up as well, because I'm sure most of the listeners know by now. I mean, just like you know, I got the day job, and I have all my other little side hustles, so I just don't have enough time to upload any more than that. But I mean, you know what? You can only do what you can.
Yeah, which we're gonna have to just dominate.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, man, look, I need to call you out on this, man.
Okay.
Every time I approach you, every time I call you or text you with some good news, like I think the last time I texted you, I was like, "Yo, man, I got tiered up to 1,000," and then you responded, "It's time to dominate." I thought, like, man, I feel special because Glen told me it's time to dominate. Next thing I know, I'm in the Facebook group and someone's saying, "Oh, I got tiered up," and you tell them the same thing. It's time to dominate. I thought I was special, man. I'm like, oh man, Glen's telling me to dominate, but apparently you're telling everyone that.
Because it's true. I mean, they have to dominate. They just got tiered up. There's nothing left.
No, I'm just saying, man. I thought I was special. I thought I was special in the sense that I was the only one being told to dominate by you.
You know what, Yong? You're very special to me in my heart, and I'm telling you this right now. Is that what you wanted to hear?
That sounds kind of freaky, man. We need to change the subject.
Is that what you wanted to hear?
That was kind of weird. that was a little strange.
So, but yeah, I mean, dominate. What else can I tell you, Yong? And until you dominate, because what you said, you know what? I'm gonna call you out on something from last week. You said that with my numbers struggling the way they have been, you're ready to catch up to me. So I'm going to tell you on this.
No. Hold on. Let me cut you off. Okay, hold on. Go ahead.
On this episode right now, that I'm using that extra motivation because it is true. I mean, the numbers have been declining. 60-day rules come into effect. Shirts haven't been selling. Now I have to dominate. And you made that very clear from last week. You do want to catch up, that's all you. I'm happy with that. But I'm letting you know that you won't, because I'm going to be dominating.
Hey, Glen.
Yes.
Glen, it's time to dominate.
Yes. It's time to dominate.
It's time to dominate. But
scared whisper. Time to dominate.
Oh man. What else? What else do we have?
You're going to let me know about a winner of some sort, right?
Oh yeah. So last week we had a contest in the group. We were celebrating our 50,000 downloads for the podcast, which is still just mind-boggling. And so what we did was, in the group, we had a sign up, and then we were going to do a random drawing. I did the random drawing. I have a name here. Unfortunately, I don't have a last name, so I'm just going to have to send them an email.
Okay.
But the name is Debbie. Okay. I will email you. I don't want to mention her email here on the podcast, but I will email you. Email us back and confirm that you got our email, and then we can set up a time where we can do a live conference call with you. And if we don't hear back from you, I don't know, by Monday, I don't know. I mean, we'll probably have to pick someone else, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like I said, I don't have a last name, so I can't tag her in the group because there could be like 100 Debbies, right? Who knows? Mm-hmm. So I'll send you an email, Debbie, and hopefully we'll hear back from you.
Congratulations, Debbie! You don't even sound pumped.
Hey, man, I'm very pumped. It's time to dominate, Debbie.
Yes, sir, and ma'am. All right, so, anything else that we haven't covered?
I don't know. We talked about our numbers, and we mentioned the winner. I think that's pretty much it, right? I mean,
Okay,
unless you have.
we even touched a little bit on ads, which I don't know if we talked about that last time, but now we can throw that in there for next week. See how those are going.
Oh,
so
you know what?
no,
I did want to mention something.
okay.
May 19th to May 23rd. I'm going to be in Atlanta, Georgia for a conference. So if anyone is in Atlanta, you guys want to hang out, invite me over to your house for dinner or something. That'd be nice. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about merch. But let me know if you guys want to hang out again. If you guys want to cook me dinner, I'm not gonna refuse any of that. I'll be there. Maybe I'll bring a bottle of some oldie.
And what's the date again? The date?
May 19th to May 22nd.
May 19th through the 22nd. All right.
So basically Friday. If I, you know what, I should just look at my calendar. It's basically Friday to Tuesday. I fly out on Wednesday. I fly back home on Wednesday.
All right. So anybody in the Atlanta area, Yong is coming your way.
That's right.
And please take him in. Give him a nice warm meal, a blanket of some sort. Take care of this guy, and he will talk merch with you. Business.
We can dominate.
Yes, you can dominate. And anything else? I think. Should we get into the show? Did we tell everybody what this show was even about?
No.
And today, our guest?
Yeah, no. Today we have a guest by the name of Gio Hernandez. I've been trying to get this guy on the episode, on the podcast for the past 2, 3, 4 months, maybe. I don't know. But cool story. Very, very inspirational. Wait till you hear his story. And after that, you're going to tell yourself, no more excuses. It's time for me to dominate.
And he is in the group.
He is in the group.
Yeah, so he's in the group. Really cool guy. And I think I'm pretty sure you might have some questions. He's available, and he's really, really cool. You can ask him anything. And that's a nice little intro you gave him. So let's get into that nice, crisp interview.
Okay, so today's guest. Now, I've been trying to get this guy on the episode, on the podcast for months now. Really cool guy. And the reason why I want to have him on the show is because he actually has a really cool story, very inspirational. Glen, I know you heard a little about his story, but we're going to get really in depth. Gio.
Yes, sir.
My man, Gio. Hey. Welcome to the show, Gio Hernandez. Did I pronounce that right? Is it Hernandez or Fernandez?
Hernandez is correct, sir.
Okay, Hernandez, and
you don't have to call him sir. Just kidding.
hey, look, man. He respects his authority. Okay, leave the man alone.
All right. You can continue. My bad.
No, I'm just playing, man. Hey, Gio, you don't have to call me sir, but you can definitely call Glen ma'am.
This is getting out of hand already. We haven't even started.
It's getting out of control. We're having too much fun already. Damn it. But Gio, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, my name is Giovanni Hernandez, or they call me Gio for short. And I've been learning about the Shopify and MBA's business for the past 6 months now.
Okay.
And hopefully, I'm glad to be here. Big fan of your podcast, and hopefully I don't embarrass myself.
No, it's all good. So one thing Gio did mention in the beginning is he was like, "Oh man, I'm a little nervous." I'm like, "There's nothing to be nervous about, man. It's just it's just a couple of guys between me and Glen. We're just regular people like you, hanging out." But Gio has a really cool story. Well, first of all, he's just a really nice guy. I mean, every time I have questions in regards to Shopify, I send him a message and he'll respond like within 24 hours, right? Always willing to help. So thank you for that, Gio. But just a nice guy in general, man. I mean, but not just that. You have a really cool story that we're gonna get into here shortly. But just a nice guy. And let me tell you just how nice of a guy he is, Glenn. Okay. A few weeks ago, I sent him a message. I had a question about Shopify, and he goes, "Hey, you know what? I watched a course on Skillshare." Mm-hmm. He goes, "I can give you my login credentials, and you can watch it for yourself." And I was like, "Whoa, this guy! I mean, who does that, right? We never met in person." But then I realized, I was like, well, I already have a Skillshare account. I was like, just give me the name of the course and I'll watch it myself, which, by the way, is a great course. But the fact that he even offered to give me his login credentials is just mind blowing.
Giving. That's what it's about. Sharing info.
So thank you for that, Gio, man. I really appreciate your kindness, man. You don't, and that's a character that you don't find a lot in people these days.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, anytime, man. But you have a cool story, okay? So, Gio, you're originally from Los Angeles.
Yes.
And when you and I first started talking, you were in Guatemala.
Yes, I was.
Okay, so how'd that go about? You're originally from Los Angeles, but you end up in Guatemala. Can you tell us why?
I was actually born in Guatemala, but I left at a very early age. So I never actually... I left about the age of 3 and moved to LA and never learned the culture, never met the people, had family out there I never discovered, and decided about I think it was when I was at 31, to just, you know what, I finally paid off all my debts. I don't have any obligations, and I was having some health issues. My family suggested out there I could lose the weight and get myself figure myself out, and take the money I saved up, and decided, you know what, it was probably for the best, and took the first plane out like about a month later, and was there for an entire year. Luckily, I was able to take a job with me too, so that helped a lot.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that here. But so Gio was having health issues. He moves out to Guatemala. And I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Gio. And if you do mind, just cut me off at any time. But the guy goes to Guatemala, loses 100 pounds. How inspiring is that, right? I mean, that's just phenomenal. He loses 100 pounds, and then right before the show, you said, at this point, you lost 120 pounds now, right?
Yes, I have.
My man, you keep losing weight, man. You're gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but seriously, man, that's just phenomenal. I'll tell you what. Next time you go to Guatemala, why don't you take me with you? Because I got a few pounds, around the waist, and I need to lose myself.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, deal. But just, so the guy goes to Guatemala, Glen, loses 100 pounds. Looks phenomenal, looks great, and then he this is what's great, right? And this is the beauty of the business model of print on demand. Okay, he's doing his print on demand in Guatemala.
Nice.
Now, how cool is that, right? And I think that's the dream that a lot of people have that's doing this business. Is that they want to travel more, and this particular business model allows that. And so the guy's in Guatemala doing the print-on-demand business. Unfortunately, he's not doing merch by Amazon at the moment, which we'll get into as well. Gio.
Yes, sir.
My man, you're crushing it apparently on Teepublic and Shopify. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
Sure. What I have while I was doing MBA, I'll get to it in a little while. My 2 main sources of income, or passive income, have been through Teepublic and Shopify. Mainly with pop culture designs at first, and once I started learning, basically all the knowledge that I learned from NBA, I actually applied it to those 2 stores, and that's how I was able to grow them. Even though I already had them for about a year. My Teepublic site right now has been earning me about since I started applying the same methods from NBA. I went from just making about $20 a month to about $100 a month. And my Shopify store, my very first week, actually, when I integrated into the Amazon the Amazon / Shopify integrated system, I actually earned about $1,000, and never expect it. Completely caught me by surprise.
And you were telling me right before the show, you can live comfortably on $500 in Guatemala, yes?
Yes, you can actually make food is much cheaper out there, much healthier too. And I mean, rent is super cheap. If you live, for example, where I was staying, which was called Antigua, Guatemala, you can actually live off 500, and that includes food, that includes shelter, that includes in a gated community, by the way. So it was actually a pretty nice house. And I mean, if you have a car, even transportation is like 10 cents. Yeah. I mean, it only costs you like 10 cents from one place to another, or heck, maybe 25 if you really want to go to the city or take a taxi or something like that. Yeah, wow. It's affordable. Yeah, it's a very affordable living. But wow. Yeah, exactly. And since I as I mentioned before, I'm also a graphic designer. So I was able to not only grow my side business from there, I was also able to work, get a regular source of income, just doing graphic designs from a distance. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then that's how I was able to, I mean, that's how, once I started learning the whole print on demand business, I started applying it, and I realized that, you know what, if I do this right, I can actually make a living and make a decent living and remain in Guatemala, never having to touch the product or anything. It was great. Yeah, it's great.
Right. Glen, yo.
And
how inspirational is that, man?
I know. I don't even know, I guess, where to even to start. I mean, man, I guess, okay, so where were you, or maybe Merch by Amazon too, we wanted to talk about, but where were you, or what did you start first out of all three of those, I guess, print on demand? Where did you start first, and then how did you build those from there, or what happened, I guess, from the beginning?
From the very beginning? Yeah. All right, sure. I actually had my Teepublic account since 2014.
Oh, okay.
So I actually started with that first. Dig for bit, it was about a year before I actually started making any real sales, because I was just putting up stuff that I thought people would like, but I never did any research, never did any real never actually learned the process. I just thought, hey, I think this is funny, maybe people will like it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people did, but even though it was getting likes, no one was really purchasing anything. Mm-hmm. So once I got to Guatemala, and just, if I may add, for people wondering how much I used to weigh, I was weighing about, my weight got to 360 pounds. So I'm down to right now to 230 pounds.
Looking good.
Nice.
Yeah, feeling great too. And once I was out there in Guatemala, I started really thinking about, what do people really like? And I started doing research. I started getting onto Skillshare. I started looking at the target audiences, or I'm in niches. Mm-hmm. And I started watching a lot of YouTube videos, and that's actually how I found Glen's YouTube videos about NBA.
Oh, nice.
Something I never once gave a thought, because I always thought NBA Merch by Amazon was for just video gamers.
Oh,
but
okay.
Not
or the app developers or all
exactly,
that stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And then when I realized that, I was like, oh man, I can make this happen. And I started watching his videos, and I started watching Chris Green's, was it, I believe. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then I started looking into the podcast. I started getting more, took 2 more courses on Skillshare. how to start your own business. And that's when I started learning about niches. I started learning about copyrights, and I started applying that, copyrights, things like that. What do people look for? You need to make my biggest thing that I still remember to this day is anything you design needs to have an emotional connection with somebody if you want it to sell. Because obviously people like things that are cool, but they buy things that represents them in a way.
Yeah, and they can relate to.
Look at this guy doing
doing
his homework, his research.
Yeah. At this point, you were Teepublic was already, you said maybe like a year, a little bit over.
Exactly, it was already about a year in. And
and then the other ones you haven't even started yet.
Oh
like
no,
merch.
I didn't even start.
Okay.
Yeah, I applied to merch, but at the time it was our people. You had to wait.
Okay.
So while I was waiting for that, I started taking the Skillshare course, which was about starting your own Shopify store. So from there on I started growing, learning about started growing my own Shopify store, started applying every the setups, the settings, and put all my designs there. And little by little, I started learning how to promote it through Facebook, through Instagram, through what am I looking for? Twitter? Yes, Twitter. Sorry. And
it's all good, man. There's so many social media platforms out there. I can't know them myself.
Oh yeah, it was overwhelming at first. When I started learning, and then I started even taking the next step, and I realized that there was these two websites that sell directly to pop culture niches, which was a site called Ripped Apparel and a site called T Fury. But they do the daily t-shirts. So what I ended up doing, I started submitting stuff to them, and then little by little, at first I think I must have submitted 20 shirts before I finally got accepted, one of them. And in one day, those shirts can make you between $300 to about $700. I mean, and they only sell them for about 24 hours. So people get on that. And I realized, you know what, if I start learning this as well as my Shopify store, and I start promoting my stuff through this, because this site gets thousands and thousands of views a day, I could potentially grow even more.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Before we keep on going, but can you explain a little bit more about like submitting 20 designs? You said like one or two of them got chosen. So how did that process go for that site?
The same. Basically, when I first started submitting stuff to them, I was just submitting, again, just stuff that I thought was funny.
Okay.
But when I started getting into their Facebook groups and I started looking at what they sold on a daily basis, I started learning about and realizing that everything that they print, again, not only does it needs to be almost memorable to that specific niche, a pop culture niche. And so I started narrowing it down with each design. I would have people review it. I mean, I would have people on their forums review it on their Facebook group, take a look at it, give me their opinion. And I think about 20 designs, and I kind of got an idea of what they wanted. And I kept submitting those ideas. We're talking like parody. Sometimes they're parodies. Sometimes they're just funny. They're just something funny that was a quote from a movie. Sometimes it's just something that's nostalgic, again, makes an emotional connection to the person's past, an old cartoon reference, and some basically things that weren't copyrighted, but people will still realize, a funny line from, say, it's smoking from, The Mask, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And little things like that. And then once I started and then, sorry, I'm rambling on.
All good, man.
Once I learned more or less what people were looking for at the time, and I started understanding that niche more and more, I realized that my design started to get accepted a little bit more frequently.
Oh, okay.
So suddenly I will submit 2 designs, and one of those will get chosen, and then the next month another design will get chosen, and then the next month another design gets chosen. And from there on, I started exploring different niches, and those same, and again, just to give you an example, with Ripped Apparel, once you submit a design and it gets approved, you're looking at a potential $300 to about $700 in sales in one day that you'll be making. So it's the one thing I will say, if anybody's thinking about trying to submit stuff to Ripped Apparel, they are very picky because of the art. You have to be an artist. Not just anybody can submit to that. Yeah. And I've been drawing since I was a little kid, and been taking classes both offline, online, courses at community colleges, things like that. Basically trying to improve my work. I mean, you guys have seen my Shopify store, so you guys have an idea of the kind of stuff that I do.
Yeah. So and we're going to talk about that here in a second. So you mentioned that on Ripped Apparel you were doing movie quotes and parodies. Now I know, as soon as you said that, the red flag went up on all our listeners, and they're going to be like, "Oh man, you can't do that on Amazon."
Exactly.
Relax, folks. Relax, people. He said Ripped Apparel. Okay. He's not doing that on Amazon. And we absolutely did see your designs, and great designs, funny shirts. Definitely something you can't. These are designs that you absolutely cannot put on Amazon.
Exactly.
But obviously you're having very good success with those designs on Shopify, Teespring. Was it Teepublic and Ripped Apparel? I never even heard of Ripped Apparel, so I need to look them up after the show.
All right.
Now, yeah. So I mean, you're obviously having really good success outside of Amazon. Now let's get into Amazon, and it's really unfortunate because you got into Merch by Amazon, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you got into Merch by Amazon, and what happened?
I was actually approved about 2 weeks prior to the pause that happened around the end of 2016, when everybody was frozen. Everybody's account was frozen, and they couldn't technically upload anything. So I was only able to upload about 2 designs. Luckily, I did get some money. I was able to make some profit off it, but I couldn't upload anything till about March and then about a month later, my account was removed. And to this day, I still don't understand why, considering that I was following all their guidelines, making sure, or at least I thought I was. But now it's just gone. It just takes me back to the sign up screen again. And I'm trying to get in contact with them, but with their customer service, but I've had no luck since.
Okay, and you assured me that those 2 designs that you uploaded were not parodies. Obviously, in my opinion, I think parodies are okay. But you assured me that for Amazon, those designs, they were not parodies. They weren't any movie quotes. They were your original designs, right?
Yeah, they were just Christmas themed shirts, but they were not. They wasn't from a movie, or it wasn't quoting anything. It was just a line. It was just a few words and a nice drawing that I did. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened, or maybe, whatever. If I can maybe get in contact with them, I could probably find out what is it that happened.
When was the last time you tried to contact them? Because I've heard from other people that they're actually gotten better about responding.
About a week ago.
Okay. Well,
I sent them an email.
Well, apparently they haven't gotten better in your situation. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I just get an automated response.
Oh man, see, that really sucks, because I know that if you were still on Amazon, that you would be crushing it, because Glen and I, like I said, we've both seen your work, and it's just phenomenal.
Oh yes, and if anybody's worrying, I'm not too worried, because those same says I can still upload my stuff to using my Shopify and Amazon integration. And for everybody that was, when you mentioned earlier that I raised the red flag, the same designs that I have on my Shopify store are not the same ones that I sell on my Amazon. I actually because I was during the whole pause when I mentioned that I made about $1,000 immediately. It was within the week was the same design that I just mentioned to you, just using the Amazon and Shopify integration. And that design it was still selling up till around the end of February, when obviously the Christmas themed stuff died out. And what doesn't worry me too much is the fact that I could still upload all my stuff to Amazon if I wanted to. It's just not going to be through NBA. It would be through the Shopify integrated system.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually been having luck with that. I've been making about $200 a month. Just using that Shopify and Amazon together.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So I haven't lost hope. I mean, I know there's always going to be little ups and downs when you're starting something new, and when things don't work your way. I mean, like it's best to keep moving forward or find alternatives. I mean, if I would have just stayed down and just worried that, oh, my MBA got taken down, oh well, I guess I might as well give up. I probably wouldn't be making the amount of money that I'm making now on Teepublic.
Yeah, see,
because obviously I moved to I'm using another platform instead of just focusing on that one.
See, and that's what I really like about you, and I've told you this because you and I talk on a regular basis on mm-hmm. Facebook Messenger, and I messaged you when you first told me about you getting your account suspended. I was like, oh man, that freaking blows. That sucks. And your attitude was, oh yeah, you know what? Well, I'm not going to be too worried about it. Yeah, it sucks, but I got to, focus my energy and attention elsewhere in the meantime. And because Glenn, how many times do we hear people crying? Oh man, my account got suspended. My life is over. I'm gonna go jump off a bridge. How many times you hear that, man?
Yeah, it's quite a lot. It sounds like you were probably a little bit more worried than he was.
I was, man. I was like, Gio, how many times did I message you, man? Like 5 times? I was like, yo, man, did you get your account back? Because I was like really worried, man, because he's such a nice guy, right? Yeah. And I was like, man, that freaking sucks. And Gio's like, man, I ain't got time to worry about that, man. I'm looking at my other businesses. Yeah. Like, man, no, man, that really sucks, man. Dude, I ain't got time for all that, man. I'm working on my Teepublic. I'm working on my Shopify. And I was just like, man, this guy is just he's got a great attitude.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
So during that time that you were let's say suspended or terminated from merch, how many months in were you on Shopify, or did you barely start it immediately after, or how did that go, with Shopify?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you ask that again?
So when you got, terminated from merch,
mm-hmm.
during that time, did you already have your Shopify store running for a couple of months, or did you start Shopify immediately after you were terminated, or how did that go?
Oh, no. I actually had my Shopify store already. I actually had Shopify before I had MBA.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't integrate it into Amazon until they offered that. I believe it was in November. When they first announced it, they actually had I immediately I saw, you know what, my MBA account is on pause. I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that I can still upload to Amazon using Shopify, and the designs that I had already designed that I couldn't upload anymore to MBA, I took them, put them on my Shopify store, uploaded them to Amazon, and that's how I kept everything moving.
Okay.
Yeah, and so basically right now my Shopify / Amazon integrated their system is still I could still upload to Amazon if I wanted to right now. The great thing about this is that I don't have to go through their whole their picky process, like, get my stuff rejected, because whatever I upload almost is up within the hour, and I don't have to worry about NBA getting it approved or checking, giving me
trademark.
Yeah, exactly, checking the trademark. I'm always very careful. I still follow the rules though. Don't try to break the rules.
Well, hold on a second. But so I've seen your shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you can't upload those type of shirts through Merch by Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
But with your integration through Shopify and Amazon, you're having those shirts on Amazon through Shopify. But now, does Amazon, again? I don't know. So does Amazon just not even look at that? It's just an automatic process.
Yes, it's an automatic process. But just to clarify, I'm not uploading the pop culture shirts. Those pop culture shirts are separate from my Amazon stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, the stuff that I upload to Amazon, I still follow the rules when it comes to trademark, copyright, and all the NBA stuff. The only thing is, I don't have to worry about it getting rejected. But I still do my homework. I still do my research. I still make sure it's not copyrighted.
I got you.
Not any copyrighted images, quotes, or anything that might get me into trouble. Because that happened before too.
Oh, it has.
Yes, it actually has happened. I got I once did a quote that I thought was just something funny. It turns out that it was a quote from the musical Hamilton. which everybody is familiar with. I thought, yeah, exactly. Everybody's familiar with. So that got taken down almost immediately.
Okay.
Like within 3 days, I believe.
Wait, who removed that? Was it Shopify or was it Amazon?
It was Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. So even though it was still available on my Shopify, it was no longer visible on my Amazon store. So they do crack down on you if you're not careful either. I mean, but they do give you more of a heads up rather than just take your account down.
Oh, wow. Hey, before we continue, I just had to share this little story. I actually had a design removed from Redbubble.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah. Glen, do you remember that shirt, that design that I texted you about 2-3 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yo, man, you think this will work on Amazon? You're like, I don't know, man. It's kind of in the gray area. so I uploaded it onto Redbubble. And within like a week later, they freaking removed that damn design. And anyway, I just had to share that story. I thought it was kind of funny. But wow. So now are you doing any marketing? Are you driving? I mean, I'm assuming you are. Are you driving traffic to your Shopify store?
Yeah, actually, that actually was the hardest thing, learning how to drive traffic. But again, using videos on YouTube as guides and using Skillshare as to learn new ways to market, I've actually been able to drive traffic using Pinterest and Reddit. Most surprisingly,
Reddit.
Yeah, you got to be careful with Reddit though. You can't actually just go promoting. You have to know how to talk to the people.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll get on your ass on stuff like that. Like that. But yeah, using Pinterest and some Instagram, I've actually been able to drive traffic to my Shopify store and my Teepublic store. And even my Amazon shirts have been getting traffic through there, and I've been seeing sales coming. Granted, it's little right now, but I'm hoping that in the next few months I can grow that and eventually get to a point where I can maybe hire someone that's a little bit more experienced to do it for me. Because there's I mean, when it comes to graphic design, I can get down, but when marketing, it's a whole other game, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's something Glenn and I are trying to learn more about, is marketing and ads and stuff. So that's I think I speak for most people. That's something that everyone is trying to learn as well. So yeah, no, I mean, marketing is a whole different game. Absolutely. Glenn, you have any other? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So let's say for those people that are waiting to get accepted into Merch by Amazon, and let's say, you know what, start a Shopify store. What kind of tips would you give somebody, that's looking to just start on Shopify to kind of build that up first? Eventually they'll get into merch. We just don't know when, of course. So what kind of tips, I guess, for a starter, what are the first things they should do to get a Shopify store?
My best recommendation would be the very first thing is learn the system. Shopify store might seem a bit overwhelming at first, like their settings and everything.
It is.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. but if you learn it, it actually becomes easier. It becomes a much easier process, especially if you're going to do an Amazon integration. If you're going to integrate it with your Amazon store, with your Amazon business at a later time. And then my second, I would probably say you do need some disposable income, because you're not, unlike MBA where they take care of everything. Here you're gonna, it's a little bit more hands-on. You are gonna have to pay whoever your supplier is, because and you're also going to have to be willing to cover pretty much most of the costs up until Amazon pays you, because Amazon pays you only at the end of the month. So you need to be able to not only pay for the you need an Amazon account, obviously, which I believe is like $29 a month. You need your Shopify account. If you want just a Shopify account by itself, it's $9 a month. And if you want it with a store, with a website store, I believe it's $29 a month as well. So you're looking just in there, you're looking at about $60 a month at least, I believe. Sorry, my math's off. And then you have to be able to pay whoever you're going to be supplying your printer. For example, say you're using Aura or Printful, and then also have this get ready, because what happened with me when I said that I sold $1,000 worth of shirts, I only had about $300 in my account, so I had to pay up. I had to pay about, I believe, $500, like with that money just gone, like just to the printers, and then I didn't get it back until the end of, I believe, 4 weeks in. Amazon finally paid me, and I was able to pay back the money I borrowed. So you do need some disposable income for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So definitely a whole different beast when it comes to Shopify, and that's something that I'm trying to learn. I didn't realize I was losing $60 a month, man. Yo, Gio, you and I need to sit down and get this damn setting straight from my Shopify store, man. I'm losing money. This ain't funny, man.
And did the websites like Skillshare, like they help you at all in the beginning to kind of learn this stuff, or they were just kind of general, I guess, tutorials, or they really helped?
They were the most helpful, because like I was mentioning to Yong, I probably wouldn't even had a Shopify store if it wasn't for those. I probably would have just done everything through Teepublic or Redbubble.
And for the listeners, if you guys don't know what Skillshare is, it's kind of like Udemy, except you're not paying for the courses individually. It's just a monthly subscription, and you have access to any course that they have on their site. And in my opinion, it's worth every freaking penny. What is it, like $10 a month?
Yeah, $10 a month, actually.
The cost of 2 Frappuccinos. You guys heard me refer to Frappuccinos before.
Tall Frappuccinos.
With tall Frappuccinos. Cost of 2 Frappuccinos, man. $10 a month. Gio, I know you talked about that course. Do you remember the name of the course?
Unfortunately, at the moment, I do not.
It's all good, man. I'll have it in the show notes. Very good course. It's a little outdated, but it's like 98% still relevant. There's some things that I was still, I was a little confused. So Gio agreed to sit down and help me with it at some point.
So Yong, so what are your issues, I guess, with Shopify right now?
I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of issues. Okay. But that's something we're not going to talk about. Okay? But if you want to talk, if you want to talk about Shopify issues, it's the settings. It's the settings. There's so many settings, right? And I just it's like Gio was saying, you have to figure out what each setting is. I mean, there's settings for like international shipping, right? I don't know how to ship internationally. I mean, I've done it on eBay, but it's just, the eBay is pretty simple, right? So, there's things like that. And, I think the course did cover that, but I was like I said, it's for the most part that course is really good. But when it came to the settings, it was kind of a little confusing for me. And again, that's something Gio and I, Gio was really nice enough to say, hey, maybe sometime this week, you and I will sit down and do a conference call, and I will talk you through it.
Yeah, and train this rookie.
Yeah, train me, man. Absolutely. But
still learning myself too. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, but it is a great course. But it's just the settings, Glenn. There's just too many settings. Yeah. Correct, Gio?
Yeah. There's a lot of settings. You don't need to have, in order to have your store up, you don't need to have them all up right away. For example, for me, I didn't put any international shipping for about maybe 4 months. I mean, I did it with time. I just kept it in the US for a bit.
Oh,
then then you can add you can add it. You can add all that stuff later. I think right now mine's I forgot the settings I had, but I actually had to do a little bit of research to figure that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of researching and stuff, man, and yeah, I didn't know that, man. So I'm glad you told me. Now I know. But yeah, I guess that's something that you and I will have to sit down and go over. We're actually running out of time here, so we're going to shut it down here shortly. But you're now in Iowa, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How do you like it out there?
It's cold, it's warm, and sometimes it's raining all in the same day. But overall, it's great. I actually just started a new job, and it's working me to that so far. So hopefully, but I'm using my free time to learn more about the business and to grow it, because I would like to get to a point where I can maybe make at least $2,000 a month by the end of the year. That seems small to a lot of people, but for me, that's a big win, especially if I would like to go back to Guatemala, stay there for a little bit while, and this time actually do some traveling. And I mean, $2,000 a month, as I mentioned, you only need 500 to live over there. $2,000 goes a lot.
Look here, man. You go back to Guatemala. You taking me and Glen with you, okay?
All right, yeah, I'll give you a tour.
For real? I'm being honest here, man. I've never been to Guatemala, and I want to go, and I want the Gio tour master to show us around.
All right, yeah, definitely. I'll show you guys around. Show you the great place, the good places, the bad places, and some of the less known places.
Okay. You miss California at all?
Oh yeah, man. I could definitely go for an In-N-Out burger. You don't get them out here.
I tell you what, man. Hey, next time, I know you mentioned that you still have family in Los Angeles. Next time you fly out there, let me know in advance, maybe like 2 weeks in advance. And I'll love to go down there and meet up with you. I got parents in Orange County, so it's not too far from LA. So if you let me know in advance, I'll be more than happy to go down and
definitely, man.
For the weekend.
All right, definitely. Hopefully you can give me some tips on NBA and such.
Hey, you know what? Glen and I, we're just like you, man. We're just learning as we go. We're no experts, but we can definitely share notes about design. That's for sure.
Yeah, and if I may add to that, for anybody listening, it was overwhelming when I first started this out too. I didn't know what I was doing for Jack. But just listening to the podcast, listening to YouTube videos, I started understanding little by little. I mean, I'm still at the very early stages. I didn't actually start MBA stuff, the knowledge that I have now, until I believe it was around October. And I mean, for me, it's really only been maybe 6 months since October. Yeah, around, or more or less. If I'm at off, I apologize. I've never been good at it. But I'm still learning, and I'm actually it's a lot of fun once you start understanding how things work. And then don't give up. Don't give up to anybody. I think if I didn't know what I know now, I probably would have freaked out.
Absolutely, and that's something that we always talk about, right? I mean, people expect to see results immediately, and then we keep telling them you're not going to see results overnight. I mean, there's always that small fraction of people, they have that right design, they're in the right niche and they start making a fortune immediately. But I mean, 99.9% of the time, it's a long-term process.
Exactly. Yeah. It takes its time. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And thank you guys for putting up a podcast. That was very helpful. I mean, I've been listening to it nonstop.
Like I said, initially it was just me and Glenn just being a bunch of jerk offs, just talking crap to each other. Nah, I'm just joking. But we did this, to really just kind of talk about our own personal journeys and stuff. It wasn't to really, we weren't expecting it to evolve how it did. And but I'm glad that it's grown, and Glenn and I are trying to do more for the podcast and more for the Facebook group. So thank you for those kind compliments.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you too, Glenn, for your videos on YouTube. That's actually what got me into all this stuff.
Oh, nice. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, for some reason, I think it's fair to say that everyone who's done merch by Amazon at some point have probably seen Glenn's video. So props to Glen.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the face for the Merch Minds podcast, right? He's the one that's going on, on everyone's interviews and stuff. Ain't nobody interview me, man. I think the last time I was interviewed was when I was on America's Most Wanted. That was the last time I was interviewed. Other than that, people don't want to talk to me. It's okay though, man. Like I said, Glen's the face, and I kind of like to
lurk in the shadows.
No, you know me, Glen. I'm more of the Facebook guy, right? I interact with people consistently in the group, so
exactly.
But absolutely. But Gio, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
You can actually reach me. I'm in your Facebook group under Gio Hernandez.
You are, and
yes.
we'll definitely tag you when the podcast is posted.
All right. Yeah. So that's the best way to reach me. You can send me a message. If anybody needs to send me an email, it's Giovanni, Giov as in Victor, ANNY, Corrado, CORADO @gmail.com.
Man, nice. That's a sexy email. That's sexy. All right, thank you, my man.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
Gio is an awesome dude. It was a great interview. I'm just glad that we finally got him on the podcast.
Yeah. Again, like I said, very cool story, very inspirational. The guy looks phenomenal, lost a lot of weight. So yeah, sounds like he's doing good. Unfortunately, he's not on merch at the moment, but he's making other pod platforms work for him. He's dominating. I like that word. He's dominating. So yeah, he's doing good things.
And that's what I think is like super important, is just to have multiple streams of income from the different platforms. Even though merch didn't work for him, he didn't sit there and complain. He moved on. Well, he actually added on to what he was already doing to get more money in. So I think that's really important from this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, really cool story. But again, guys, hey, we mentioned this earlier in the podcast. If you're just getting started, you have no design background, we do have a solution for you. Go check out Merch Candy. Travis, we know him personally. He's a cool guy, man. He's going to take care of you. $10 per shirt. Obviously, you have to sign up for the subscription. $10 per shirt. Great designs. I've seen them myself. Really good designs. And if you sign up using the link that we give you, merchcandy.com/ was it merch merchcandy.com/merchminds. He's gonna give you 2 free designs. So check him out. Again, that's merchcandy.com/merchminds. He'll take care of you. But yeah, before we go, Glen, where can people find you? I mean, you're like all over the internet these days, man. I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's not going to be a problem finding you, but just in case, where can people find you?
Facebook group, Merch Minds. You can tag me on whatever. You can contact me, hustlerhacks1@gmail.com, and Hustler Hacks on YouTube.
And you guys can find me at geekhustle.com. Sign up for my newsletter. People are giving me some really good feedback as to the content that I provide. So go ahead and sign up for that. And just like Glenn, you can find me in the Merch Minds Facebook group. All that will be in the show notes. Anything else, Glenn, before we go?
I think that's it. I think we're good.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys, for listening, and we will catch you next week.
See ya.